and hoping everybody have a happy new year. 2026 is coming up. Everything's going to change in America. But like I said, what I came on really to talk about is the two greatest duel defensive duel of all time: Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Now I know a lot of people are probably going to say they couldn't play in this era. Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's a bunch of bullshit because Jordan and Pippen could play in any era. And I'm gonna tell you why they could play in this era because Jordan and Pippen already played in this era. People forgot Jordan retired in 2006. I forgot when Pippen retired. I know it was in the 2000s. Jordan played for the Wizards. People forgot about that. Pippen played for Portland, and he also played for Houston before he retired. And everybody would talk about, well, Pippen was old, but people could still play defense. People said Jordan was old. Jordan still could play defense. The only thing about it is that they wasn't the same like they were back when, they were dominating the league on defense. The two best defensive players of all time to me. And what's crazy about it is that people will say they will never beat the Golden State Warriors because the Golden State Warriors are a better team. But see, one thing you got to understand about defense and the way Bulls play defense. And people say the Bulls never played any zone, and Jordan never played against any zone. Well, let me tell you something. If you trap, if you play 3/4, I think it's 3/4 trap, or if you play half court trap, full court trap, which the Bull played a lot of full court trap and a lot of half court trap, you have some zone in that trap. Because if you watch the Bulls, right? See, everybody knows the zone defense is going to get you a 3-second defensive violation. It happens in the NBA a lot today because, they're playing a lot of zone in the NBA. They don't play that much man to man. It's only, I think, Oklahoma City and I think the Pacers play man. I don't think there's a lot of teams in the NBA that play man to man because they don't have the defensive players to play man like OKC does and also Indiana does. So, what I mean? People got to understand that the Golden State Warriors wasn't a great defensive team. They were a great offensive team, of course. Curry, you had Thompson. Those are the two duels on offense, probably the greatest dual threats of 3-point shooting of all time. But the Bulls could play against them. The Bulls can beat them like at least about 3 out of 3. And the only reason why I'm saying is because let me tell you about the Bulls defense. A lot of people thinking that the Bulls could not compete in this era. You got to understand the Bulls defense is predicated on movement. They have to follow the ball. You ever heard of the old rule IC ball? I mean, I know a lot of y'all guys play basketball. I know y'all heard the old rule of IC ball. And movement is all about going to the ball. If the ball's going through the point line, the ball's going in the paint, it's going to the sideline, and the Bulls always trapped. Now, people say he wouldn't be able to play against Curry. Let me tell you about Curry. Curry's only 6'3", only 6'3". Jordan was 6'6", and you had Pippen at 6'8". Long arms, hands the size of fucking watermelons. So listen to me. If Curry brings the ball up, they will trap him. Trap. That means they will wait for him to bring the ball up to get at least to half court, or they will force him to the sideline. Then Pippen or Jordan or B.J. Armstrong or John Paxton or anybody that are playing, because they will start off as man to man. Because a trap is nothing but man. No, you start off a full court press. Then they'll turn it into a half court trap. I mean, a full court trap. Then when they get on the other side of the court, they will actually play half court trap. See, but the Bulls didn't want you to cross half court, especially if you had a good ball handling or you had a team that could shoot. They would try to get you from setting up your offense. That means that the Bulls will trap you exactly when you inbound the ball. Now, if Curry throws the ball down court, Curry has to come from where he throws the ball in all the way down to reset. That will mess up their offense. See, the Bulls try to mess up your offense before you get involved. I mean, before you get across half court. Because teams today, like the Golden State Warriors of the past, they were a team that they had to set up their offense to actually score. the 3 point shooting. Now Curry could come down the court and shoot a three, without nobody guarding him, but that's the problem. The Bulls won't allow that. I mean, I don't think Curry's going to shoot from half court every single time he gets the ball because he'll get. Cause you got to understand trapping, especially if you stop your dribble. It's easy to trap you, especially if you're on a baseline and you got two tall, long arm basketball players like Jordan and Pippen, and Curry can't get by them. Then somebody else got to come and get the ball, and then Curry has to run all the way over there to position himself to get the ball back. That will mess up him feeling comfortable to run around. And you could, and number one, they do a lot of now. Curry remind me a lot of Reggie Miller. He does a lot of movement. And guess who played against the fucking person named Reggie Miller that had a lot of movement, that ran all over the place? And guess who the Bulls played against too? Named against a player named Richard Hamilton that did the same exact thing. The Bulls played against him when he was a rookie, and he was doing the same thing, moving around, running around. Reggie Miller was the type of person that used to be so aggressive by moving off of screens and shit, and using picks to get freedom from a defender that because what's his name wasn't that fast, so he had to use picks to get open. Curry is fast, but he has to use picks to get open. I know he can shoot a ball from anywhere on the court. People say, but that don't mean shit. If you got length on you, it'll make it harder for you to shoot because you got to shoot over the guy that's taller than you. That's why I believe Jordan can guard Curry or Pippen can guard Curry because you want to have height. Everybody don't understand Pippen's fast. Now they got a video out. I don't know if a lot of y'all people have been watching the new video that just came out about Pippen and Jordan playing defense. You got to find that video. That video shows that the Bulls defense. Now they didn't have a great offense, but they didn't have a great bench. But the Bulls had the number one defense in the playoffs every time for the 6 championships. They had the number one defense. They were a number one rebounding team. Think about that. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. I believe Scottie Pippen should at least won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and I think Jordan should have won. Well, I think Pippen should have won more Defensive Player of the Year awards than Jordan, but they should have been even. But the only reason why they didn't do that because the league was kind of effed up, giving players that were really, really good a lot of awards. That's why Jordan only won 6 MVPs because Jordan should have won at least about 10. Pippen should have at least won 1 MVP, but they didn't want to give him an MVP when Jordan wasn't even there because he was the runner up in the MVP that year when they lost to the Knicks and Jordan was still retired. He was a runner up for MVP. He should have won Defensive Player that year. But people don't understand how amazing. Sorry about my glasses. This thing right here is broken. I gotta get my glass. I gotta stop being lazy and go get my glasses fixed. But the thing is, let me tell you something, right? And I'm stressing this to the younger generation. The Bulls defense is predicated on movement of the basketball. So a lot of teams back in the past, why the Bulls played so well against teams that did not move. So the offenses back then always stood around. So they didn't do that much movement like back doors or anything like that. Because the team were already predicated playing in the box. So offenses play in the box. That means they will get the ball in the post. So, what I mean? It was easier for the Bulls to double anybody that's in the post because they had their back turned. And it was easy to get steals. Now, can the Bulls do that same similar thing today? Yes, I think they could. But you got to remove certain people on defense, like Luke Longley, and probably put Kukoc in there. Or I think you could bring in the boy Tucker that used to play. He was a real great defensive player. Or Ron Harper's already going to be in there. You got Dennis Rodman, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. You just need one more person to be a center. Now, if I could choose a center, I would choose probably Dwight Howard. Not Dwight Howard. Yeah, I probably choose Dwight Howard to be in my center or I will take Big Ben, as my center from Detroit, because Ben reminds me of Dennis Rodman, but he's a more athletic power forward slash center than Dennis Rodman. That's why he won almost 5 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and that's why he's in the Hall of Fame. Everybody I know I'm talking about, Ben Wallace. I would love to be on the Bulls with that current Bulls team. He would have been that would have been even though he didn't have to score like Dennis Rodman didn't have to score, he would have been a problem because he was so strong and he could play defense. He can guard anybody on the floor. That's the only piece that the Bulls missed was a strong center that could actually defend, the box because Luke Longley had problems. Now Bill Cartwright was a good defensive player because he always played well against Patrick Ewing, but Luke Longley always struggled against like Patrick Ewing. He struggled against Karl Malone a lot. Jordan used to get on about guarding Karl Malone because he couldn't guard him. He couldn't guard like Rick Smits. He couldn't guard a lot of motherfucking players. So that's the only problem. That's the only weak link of the Bulls is the center. Now, who's going to, people say, well, who's going to guard Thompson? You got Harper. I put Harper on any fucking body. Now, I know he ain't the young Harper that was compared to Michael Jordan when he played for the Clippers and also for Cleveland, but I still will take the older Harper because that Harper had long ass arms. People forgot all about him and they don't talk about him because Jordan and Harper used to get it on in practice. They used to talk shit to each other. Jordan knew that Harper was not afraid of him. Harper really was really afraid of him. I mean, Jordan was really afraid of Harper because Harper played exactly like Michael Jordan when he was younger. If a lot of y'all people don't know who Ron Harper is, look at him before he got his knee injury. And then you got Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman don't have to guard Green because Green is not a scorer. Like everybody knows Dennis Rodman is not a scorer. Green is not a scorer. Only thing he do is shoot threes. And he probably could take the ball back. But Dennis Rodman is more athletic. He's more physical. And he will get Green to get technicals. So he don't really have to play, defense to a point, to try to stop Green because Green is not a scorer. So if you take Green out the game, like everybody will say, well, if you take Rodman out the game, only thing you got is Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen. No, you also got Ron Harper because Ron Harper can score too, but he's not the scorer that he was back when he was younger. Like he used to average like nearly 20, 25 points a game before he got his knee injury. And that Cleveland team, when Jordan took that last shot, when Ron Harper asked, can he guard Jordan? The coach said no. And they put Elo on Jordan. And Jordan said he was going to score. And he scored and won the game. Now, Ron Harper was on Jordan. I don't think Jordan would have won that game. But that's just me because Ron Harper was a great defensive player. But they don't talk about him. He was a top 5 defender in his times playing with the Clippers and Cleveland. But they don't talk about Ron Harper. Dennis Rodman, you can put him on any fucking body. You can put him on Curry. You gotta understand about Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman will have the whole team frustrated and fighting. Pippen is quiet. Pippen don't say nothing, but Pippen is so good at playing anybody on on the wing, in the box. People say, well, there's a lot of movement. Well, the Bulls' defense is predicated on the ball moving. So the Bulls are not just going to trap all the time. They're going to play man and some zone. People say they didn't play zone. Let's say they did play zone. The Bulls trapped. Who do you think a trap is? It could be a man. It could be a zone. You could double off a trap. Because you got to understand, these teams today that play in this era of basketball, they stay on the three-point line. You talk about athleticism. You thinking people want to say, well, athleticism beat size. It does not. I don't give a fuck how good you have shooters. If you don't have anybody else that can actually drive the ball and get to the basket, you're going to trouble. If they take Curry out the game and take Thompson's not really an attack basket player. He's a three-point shooter too. Curry's the only one that's really great at attacking the basket. He reminds me of Isaiah Thomas, but with Reggie Miller shooting three-point skills. Because Isaiah Thomas was that physical point guard, and Reggie Miller was that physical three-point shooter. That's what Curry reminds me of. But Curry is too small for me. I love Curry, but I think you could be physical if the Eagles, not the Eagles, my fault. If the Bulls had the era of their rules, if sides playing against what these rules are, but I still think the Bulls can adapt to these rules. The thing that really drives me crazy, people that are young, never seen the Bulls play in real life and see Jordan play and Pippen play or Dennis Rodman play in real life. Even when Dennis Rodman won Defensive Player of the Year twice with the freaking Pistons. Like, Pippen's the only one that never won Defensive Player of the Year. Dennis Rodman won 2. Jordan won 1. Pippen never won 1, but I think he's a 10-time defensive first team. Jordan's a 9-time. And I think Rodman is somewhere up there too. Just think about that. Do they have any top 10 defensive players? Yes, they do. They got Green, but Green is not anything of a. He can't guard nobody. He's not going to be able to guard Scottie Pippen. He won't be able to guard Michael Jordan. Then people say, well, he could play in that physical era. Yeah, he could play in that physical era, but he's not. Look, there's a difference between this era and the past. Remember, players had to take that punishment. They had to get up and go and wipe themselves off and keep playing without getting mad. Now, players didn't get ejected like that back then because that was part of the game. It was like arch rivals. Can Curry, Thompson, and Green play physical against the Bulls? Because the Bulls are going to play physical against them. You know what I mean? They're going to knock him to the floor. Jordan's going to be all over the fucking place. He's going to be reacting to the ball. Pippen's going to react to the ball. He's going to be blocking shots. You got to understand. If I understand that you got great 3-point shooters, but you got players that are like Pippen, that can block shots that people, you remember, he's tall. He don't even look that tall, but he got some long arms. Jordan doesn't even look that tall, even though people think he was 6'5", but he's 6'6", long arm, wingspan, nearly like 7 something. Pippen's arms are longer than Jordan's. Like, come on. Like, I just don't understand why people are trying to say the Bulls couldn't play in this era because of 3-point shooting. 3-point shooting doesn't mean that you're going to beat a team. It doesn't, because look at the league. Jordan led the league in shooting jump shots, averaging 31.1 points a game, averaging just shooting jump shots. 15-footers, 30-footers, a fadeaway. That's all he shot. And he led the league in scoring every year, 10 times. So think about that. His whole career, most of the career, except I think his first 2 years, he didn't lead the league in scoring. But I think his third year, before he broke his foot, he led the league in scoring. But just think about that shit. This man led the league in scoring just by shooting jump shots. And nobody can stop him. So you telling me just because Curry can shoot threes, you can't shoot threes all the time. You have to change your game up because the Bulls are going to force you out of you shooting threes. And what else do you have after? They don't shoot no jump shots in this league. They don't post. So what else do you have? A team's not going to beat you by sitting there shooting threes all day. If you get them off the 3-point line, 99% of the times the Bulls going to win. Because now you're frustrated. Coaches are calling timeout. Now they got to make up a new strategy at halftime to figure out how you're going to get some points, because the Bulls are stopping Curry from shooting the threes. They're doubling him and trapping him, making him turn the ball over. Thompson is getting frustrated because he's wide open because they're doubling Jordan, but Curry can't get the ball to him because he's being double teamed and trapped. He can't see. Green is getting mad because Dennis Rodman's up there touching and feeling all over him, slapping his ass and talking shit to him in his ears, tickling his back of his ears, staring at him at the foul line. Are you serious? I mean, don't get me started with Harper. Harper's the most quiet player on the floor, too. Used to be a stutterer, but he's gotten quiet. That motherfucker will have like 3 or 4 steals in a game. Or 2, or he'll have like a couple, well, he'll probably like have 16 points because he doesn't shoot that much, but he's a good 3-point shooter. Pippen, good 3-point shooter. Pippen can get 40, 30 points if he really wanted to. Jordan averaged 30.1 a game, so you know Jordan's going to get his points. But on defense, they're going to dominate because these teams today never played against teams that played real great defenses, like the Bulls. And it's not just the Bulls, the Pistons, the Knicks. These are physical teams. People that talk about basketball today, they love it because it's not physical. It's not a football type back game. That's why people say, well, we don't want the same rules that they played back then, because they know the Bulls is going to win every single time. And they're going to probably win by like 50, 60 points because if you take away their 3-point shot, they won't be able to score. Curry ain't going to drive to the basket where they got a fucking center that's 7'1", that's 300 pounds sitting there in a lane. You know what I mean? And you're not gonna, and he's not gonna be able to go by Pippen with his long ass arms, keeping him in front of him. I don't care how much you dribble. That don't mean anything. Dribbling don't mean nothing in basketball, because all you're doing is staying in one place. Because if a basketball is like, you see how they do these step backs, that's a walk. They're going to force you to do traveling. They're going to force you to throw the ball out of bounds. They're going to force you to do things that you don't want to do on your offense. It's going to force you to take pass shots. This is the reason why the NBA of the day never plays against defenses like they did in the past, because the defenses of the past were very, very physical. They knew how to attack the ball. They're not going to let Curry bring the ball up. Curry ain't going to be sitting up there dribbling the basketball up the court with nobody guarding him. They're going to trap him. Or they're going to force Curry to not have the ball on his hand. So he got to go down court, and so he has to set up the offense, because the offense is only predicated if Curry brings the ball down. Now, Green can bring the ball down, but Green is not a dribbler. If Green's going to bring the ball down, he's going to get the ball stolen every single fucking time. And who else is going to bring the ball up? Thompson? Thompson's not a great dribbler. He's a great defender. Now, Thompson's a great defender. Curry's really not a great defender. Green's a great defender, but Green is not a physical defender like fucking Rodman is. And Rodman doesn't score, so he has to trap. So that's going to leave Rodman wide open for easy layups and rebounds. And he's not going to out-hustle Dennis Rodman on the rebounds. That's just 100% fact. Everybody know that. So that's what I'm saying. Basketball today, in defensive terms, is not good because they don't play defense in this league at all. It's all let's rest, let's get back to the offense, score. Then if we're up by 50 points, that will be good. That's my next door. That's my next door, my downstairs neighbor. So basketball to me is just it's just it's hard, dog. In the past, like you got Scottie Pippen and Jordan trapping you, and now you're afraid, and you're trying your best to see where your man is, so you can give the ball to your man that's coming up the court to get the ball, so he can get you out of that trap, so you can give the ball back, so you can set up the offense. They're not going to let Curry come down the court because even Kobe Bryant used to guard people one on one. Today, you even see this is the reason why I'm telling you that these players today cannot play against the Bulls. Look how they had the Pacers play against the Knicks. Now, look at not against the Knicks. Did you know that they were guarding what's his name one on one with the other ball? He couldn't even dribble the basketball. He got the ball stolen from every time. He turned the ball over. I forgot the Bulls' name. His father's a baseball player. Well, his father's a Hall of Famer, but he could not. That's what I'm saying. Could these players today bring the ball up on the Bulls? Think about it. Bring the ball up. I'm talking about bring the ball up from half court, 90 feet, to get across to the next court to set up their offense. That smells so fucking good that they're cooking some sausage. But I'm sitting up there saying like that. You basketball today. Everybody, well, man, no, I don't give a damn about what people tell me because I grew up in that time. I'm 50 years old, so I see Michael Jordan. I seen the Bulls. I watched that video of Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. That's actually fucking what they did, dog. And these are not duplicate fucking games. These are games that they'll just show the games that they played for their whole career. I mean, for the Bulls, and even when after Jordan retired, they showed Pippen play by himself playing defense. Then they came back to the 96, 97, 98 Bulls and showed Pippen and Jordan and Rodman playing defense and Harper. You can't tell me. Like, people want to say, well, the game has quicker players. It don't have nothing to do with quicker players, dog. It's what quicker players, like, you're on the three-point line. That's what they do. They come down, they all sit on the three-point line. And the only reason why they get open, because you have a great shooter, of course you're worried about Curry. And it's easy and one thing about being in the zone, you have to rebound. You have to rebound when you're in zone. That's why the NBA is so trash today, because they only have the boy Drummond leading the league in rebounding, and he's coming off the fucking bench. Think about that. Drummond comes off the bench, he leads the league in rebounding. Like, he was a starter, he led the league in rebounding. And you got the bull, what's the boy that played for the Spurs? This motherfucker's 7'5", and he doesn't even average over 10 rebounds a game. Think about that. You got Dennis Rodman average 15. You got Charles Barkley averaging nearly 15. His career is 15. Dennis Rodman's career, I think, is about 15 rebounds in his career. None of these players average even that much. People talk about Jordan average of rebounding. Yeah, a lot of these players are going to get assists because all they're going to do is just pass. See, that's what the triangle. People don't like to say, "Oh, the triangle can't be in this generation." Yes, it can, because you know why the triangle. Even the triangle, they play the triangle in this era. It's just they play a different type of triangle. The only reason why you can't play the triangle in this era, or they don't want to, they don't have a center, and they don't play it in the post. The triangle has to do with posting play. None of these motherfucking players is going to guard Shaq in the post. You think these players are going to guard Shaq? Green ain't guarding Shaq. Joker ain't guarding Shaq. None of these players are going to try to take on Shaq in the post. Nobody's going to take on Akeem Olajuwon in the post. David Robinson in the post. Patrick Ewing in the post. It's all size. This is the reason why the triangle is not in the league as much, because they do not play the triangle, because they don't play post. There's no post games in this league. They don't like that. They don't want you to play the post. They want you to play the three-point line. You see it all the time. You see the players running up the court. The first thing they do is stop at the three-point line. Every player. Even the center. Even the players that can't even score. They'll run to the three-point line. You don't see them getting in the post. You don't see them dominating the post. You say, well, no. The only reason why Jokic plays in the post, because he's supposed to play in the post. But the thing about it, Jokic is an all-around good center, but he reminds me of this center that the all young bucks don't know about. His name is Sabonis. Sabonis. His son plays in the NBA, and he's a real good player. But the thing about it is, Sabonis played in the post and actually shot. He did the same thing as Joker did. The same exact thing. They both played the same. Only thing about Joker, he could shoot threes. Sabonis don't shoot threes. He was a great passer too, just like Joker. He was a great passer. He's in the Hall of Fame. Look him up. Watch his videos. He was slow as shit. Not Ben Wallace. Rasheed Wallace hated his guts though. But the thing about it is that the Bulls defense is probably the best defense of all time. Pippen, I take the Pacers defense, but they had to use more physicality to beat teams. The Bulls really didn't have to use that much physicality to beat teams because the Bulls were so good at getting steals, reflections, and blocks. They double teamed, and even they played one-on-one, guarding players one-on-one with great dribble. You forgot that who the great dribblers they had back then, dog. Penny Hardaway, all of them, and not just Penny Hardaway. You had Tim Hardaway. You had other great point guards that can like dribble. They even had Iverson. Jordan even played against Iverson. You see what Jordan did. You see what Iverson did to Jordan. And after that, Iverson never did that to Jordan ever again because he adapted to his style of dribbling. You gotta understand, the players back then, they adapted. You don't think Jordan is going to adapt to this era of basketball, especially on defense? Especially Phil Jackson is going to adapt. You see how he adapted when he struggled his first year with the Lakers. Then he ended up getting the right pieces to play the triangle, and he won 2 championships after he went to the Lakers because he adapted. The Bulls will adapt to this era. Now, the rules, I still think the Bulls can play underneath these rules. See, the only thing I don't like about these rules, they call foul too damn much. They don't let the defense play defense. They want scoring. That's the reason why people think a lot of these teams can score. The league want teams to score and consistently score. That's all they want. They don't want you to have the game 90-91. They want the game to be over 100 points. Like the game they just had that both teams had 133 points, or one game they had 175 points, or they scored 200 points in a motherfucking all-star game. Why would you want that? Don't you want some? That's why I think the finals last year wasn't really watched because there was 2 defensive teams. Well, really, honestly, it was only one defensive team because the Knicks don't play. The Knicks can play defense, but they're not. The Oklahoma City Thunder defense is amazing. You know what I mean? Because they remind me of the Bulls because they got size. Don't you understand that? Size slows down speed because, number one, if you're physical, that other teams don't like you being physical. They want the whistle being blown. These players today, they complain all the time, and they get to the foul line, and they're not good foul shooters. The Bulls are going to win because, number one, only person that can really shoot foul shots is only 2 of them. Green is really not a consistent foul shooter. The only ones is Curry and Thompson that are great foul shooters. They don't even got a bench. Who's going to... I'll take the Bulls bench that's really not good up against anybody bench. And a lot of the players that are on the Bulls bench that started and won championships after they left the Bulls. I get in a lot of arguments and debates about who had the best offense, who had the best, who's the greatest player, who's the best defender, and whose team can beat this team. Come on, man. Come on. You got to understand, defense back then, was physical. Teams today will get whistled for breathing on a player. You can't touch any player. It's like the NFL. You can't touch the quarterback. The defense can't hit nobody over the middle unless them getting a roughing a passer or a personal foul, hitting a player, hitting the defensive receiver, or illegal contact, or a pass interference call. They won't allow them to play any defense because they want to take the defense away so the offense can score points. Why do you think the New England Patriots why do you think it was a stretch that Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and all of them were scoring all them damn points in offense? Because they wanted the game to get open. Just like they do with basketball. They want scoring to be open. So they want to take away the defense. So to order the teams to score so it could be better for the fans. Because the newer generation, that's why they're trying to not talk about defense to the newer generation. because they thinking offense is better than defense, and it's fucked up because they talk about is Curry shooting threes or Thompson shooting threes, but they don't talk about who's going to guard the Bulls. They don't talk about how great the defense of the Bulls was, because a lot of these kids never seen the Bulls play or see Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen dominate just them two. And even Ron Harper, and I put it back then as Rodman. You didn't see how dominant their defense was for, you know, for 96, 97, 98. And Jordan, they were the oldest team in basketball around that time. And they were still dominating on defense. And you gotta understand how smart they were. And they'd be at the right places at the right time to steal the ball, be at the right place at the right time to make block shots, leading the league in rebounding. You know, team defense is number one. I mean, their offense is probably ranked lower than that because they don't score that many points. Only Michael Jordan probably will score all the points because that's why they're never in the top 10 in scoring offense, or because they didn't score that many points. They already scored in low digits. They'll score like 88 points, 90 points. I think the Bulls rarely reached 100 points in the game, or teams rarely reached 100 points in the past. So you gotta understand, these teams today, they want to score, score, score. Like I said, it will make it harder for teams to score because the Bulls are going to take away the they're going to take away the people that actually are the good players. Like I said, you take away Curry and you take away Thompson, they have to change their whole strategy around the score. How are they going to score after you take Curry and you take what's his name out the game? If Jordan's trapping him and if Pippen's trapping or the Bulls are trapping, they're getting turnovers and they're up by at least 16. Now Curry has to shoot from half court. And you gotta understand there's games that Curry will miss a whole bunch of threes. And there's games that Curry will be hot. But you gotta understand Curry is really hot against teams that really don't press him. Like they don't trap him or force him to take bad shots. I remember the Sixers one time, Curry missed half of his shots. He took like 24 threes and missed a lot of them. He was so frustrated and mad. But the Sixers played really good defense about it. They took him out the game. Thompson had a good game, but they took him out the game. I think the Sixers ended up winning that game. But once you take Curry or you take both of Thompson and Curry out of the game, I don't think the Golden State Warriors will score. Like, they can't attack the basket. They don't have no drivers. They don't even have a center. Who's going to guard Luke Longley? And I don't give a fuck what people say about Luke Longley on defense, but that motherfucker got a good jump shot, and he's strong, and he can dunk. He gets a lot of dunks too, and a lot of rebounds. It's just that he has problem holding on the ball half of the time, and he gets himself frustrated, and Jordan gets frustrated with him because sometimes he'll have good games, and next thing you know, he'll have the worst games of his life. But that's the only thing the Bulls don't have really is a great center that can play defense. Now, don't have no defensive center either, and I'm not calling Green a center. He could play center, yeah, because this league is small players. Like, you could take LeBron James and put him at center. He'll probably be the starting center in this league right now. Or if he came out of college right now, he'll be a center. He's 6'9". He'll be a center coming out of college right now. The Bulls, and not just the Bulls, the NBA had players over 7 feet. Think about that. And they had long wingspan. And they played with their back to the basket. So while you're up there playing against like players like Jordan and Scottie Pippen and them big size players, they're going to get you tired. So you got to come all the way back down and you got to shoot the basketball. They're beating you up on defense, and now you're tired on offense. Now the Bulls can trap you. The Bulls can take you out your game, take Curry out the game, take Thompson out the game. Green he's nothing to do with the offense. Yes, he can give you a three or two, but he's not a scorer. He's not going to come in there and do a spin move and dunk it on people. He's not going to do a fadeaway shot to help you get points or big points when you really fucking need it. Now, he did play really well in that finals, that the one that the Bulls lost. I think he could have been MVP of that finals, but LeBron James got him kicked out the game like a little bitch. But like I said before, people say, well, nobody can guard LeBron James. Yes, you can. You be physical against him. LeBron don't like nobody being physical. He wants to be physical with you. He don't want you touching him. He'll look at the referee and tell the referee, listen, can I now if LeBron played in the past era, LeBron won't be able to play like, like I said, high school was way different. Number one, he would never been drafted out of high school. He had to go to college. Moses Malone was drafted out of high school, but that was rare that they had players in that time being drafted out of high school. So they wanted players to do 4 years. LeBron had to do 4 years of college before he came out. Now I don't know what school he would have went to. Now it would have been probably predicated to the offense. We don't know what LeBron would have played. I don't think LeBron James would be bringing the ball up in college. They didn't play that type of format in college back in the 90s. They didn't have big men. Let's say had like the only person that brought up the ball was Magic Johnson because he played point guard in high school. Now if LeBron played point guard in high school, yeah, they would have drafted him as a point guard, but they would never draft him as a point guard. LeBron would have been playing power forward. He would have been a power forward in the league. He would never have been a small forward because LeBron can't score. He's not a great shooter. Yes, he could dunk the basketball. Yes, he's very big. Karl Malone was the same way, and he was second all time in scoring behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He really actually could have broke the record if he came in the league a lot earlier. But honestly, that man was a big man, very athletic big man. Yes, he had Stockton. So do what? Stockton is the all-time leader in assists and all-time leader in steals. Nobody gonna touch his assist record. The steals record, I think somebody will catch it, but I don't think nobody's gonna catch it because his assist record is never gonna be caught. But the thing is, just look at it. The era of basketball back then, and a lot of people think these players are going to come into the league and dominate the league. In the past, they wasn't going to do it. It's different. Coaching was different back then. Just because you were a great player, that don't mean that you had potential to start. Now, some players will have potential to start. Some players will have to wait their turn, and then they'll probably become stars once another player that was a star before them retires. That's why I don't understand why these kids think these players can play in the past. Yeah, I said LeBron James probably could play in the past, but what will LeBron play? And what would the offense be built around? Who will be the point guard? Who will be the scorer on that team? LeBron's not going to be the scorer of that team. Now, LeBron dominates in the block. I mean, remember, he has to play in the box. He has to be a post player. They didn't play the offense that they play today. LeBron James could bring the ball up. LeBron James could stand there. He could play at the 3-point line. They didn't do that. You had to. I don't believe why the NBA is talking about they move around a lot. They don't. They stand. They stand on the 3-point line. LeBron does it all the fucking time. He'll come down there and stand on the 3-point line. People say because he's old. He used to do that back in the past too. He used to stand on the 3-point line because he wanted to be a 3-point shooter. He wanted to compete with Curry. Because Curry was shooting all them threes. LeBron got jealous. So LeBron started thinking he could do the same fucking thing. And he couldn't do the same damn thing. To me, LeBron is not a point guard. LeBron to me is a power forward. And he's not even a small forward because, number one, he's not a great scorer. And he's the worst at the foul line. He doesn't have a ball handle. So if he played against the Bulls, they will trap him all the fucking time. And yeah, LeBron's a big guy and he's tall, but they could trap him. Because LeBron James will pick the ball up. He's a great passer. You probably get the ball out of his hand and probably get the ball back. But you could trap LeBron. And you could force him to take bad shots. Because that's what he does. And he's going to look for the foul. He's going to try to get himself in the motion of foul, just like Durant. Durant is too... Most definitely, the Bulls will have fun with him. You see what the fucking Brooklyn Nets did. Not the Brooklyn Nets. When he was playing for the Brooklyn Nets, you see, I forgot what team played against him. And they fucking killed him. I think it was Toronto. They fucking took fucking Durant out the game. Like, he was such... He couldn't even score. Curry had games. Now, I believe that team of the 72 team of the Bulls, not the Bulls, the 70 team of the Golden State Warriors, I believe they got cheated because they wanted LeBron to win the championship so bad they cheated the fucking Warriors. I think the Warriors should have won the championship, beat them because they should have swept them. But they wanted to make LeBron look so great in that finals. They took that championship away from Curry. And Curry should have won that championship. And LeBron James should have only 2 championships. Because they did it against the Spurs. He played against the Spurs and the Spurs. And look at the Spurs defense. And the only reason why they won because of Ray Allen hitting that 3. And Ray Allen played against Jordan too. You got to understand, like, errors are just so different, dog. Like, And the way the players played back in the day, and the way they pressed the ball, that's all they did was play defense. Even the worst teams were in a top five in defense. You had like a team being 1 and 20 something, right? But they were lead the league in some kind of category on defense because teams back then predicate themselves to play defense. Offense, yeah, you're gonna get points, but you got to get the ball. You guys take the ball from the other team. You can't let the other team score and say, "Oh, we're going to score some." That's what they do in the league today. They let teams score so they can go down there and score points, and they don't put in the defense's effort, dog. It's nonstop effort and it's nonstop movement. Offense, yeah, you're going to score, but on defense, you got to get the ball back, and the ball moves faster than the person. You got to understand the ball moves so fucking fast, and they don't have no centers. You know, they don't play physical at the top of the 3-point line. They just let Curry just be wide open. They don't play first physical against him. They don't get Curry frustrated. He's just running. Oh, well, he went out. No, but see, that's what Curry. When you're playing physical with Curry, when he's bringing the ball up, yeah, you're going to get Curry from bringing the ball up and shooting that half court three. The Bulls going to know that he's going to shoot the three from half court. What do? You stop him from doing that by trapping him. Once he gets the ball inbound to him, you just run over to him and force him to the sideline because he's going to dribble to the sideline. Because if you force players to dribble to the sideline, you trap them. And then once you got these two tall motherfuckers with long arms in front of you, you can't fucking see what you're going to do with the ball. You're going to call timeout, or they're going to force you into a turnover. And that's what the Bulls were really good at, forcing turnovers. They were the best team probably in history to force turnovers. You know what I mean? And it's not just because of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. It was a team defense. Now, I'm not saying Curry's not going to get score. Curry's not going to score. He's going to score. Thompson's going to score. But if you take them two away, the Golden State's not winning. Golden State not beating the Bulls. I know a lot of people don't like Michael Jordan and all that other kind of stuff. Don't like Scottie Pippen because they won. People don't like play. The one thing that I don't like. People don't like teams that win. They like teams to lose. They want teams that come out from somewhere else to win. I understand that. I remember I said, "Damn, I'm hoping the Bulls don't win this year." I wasn't a huge Bulls fan. I was a Michael Jordan and Scott. I was a Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Harper fan. I love them. I love Harper when he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I love Rodman when he played for the Pistons because I love the way he just made the effort every day. He wanted that defensive player of the year so bad he fucking cried when he got that shit. These players, all they want to do is score points and get offensive MVP. They got a fucking trash ass tournament. Basketball is trash today. There's no substance specific scoring. People say, well, scoring is part of the game. Yes, it is, but defenses win you championships. You could have the greatest offensive team going against the greatest defensive team. I believe the greatest defense team is going to win all the time because you can game plan against great offenses. You can't game plan against great defenses. You can't. You can't game plan against that. That's why you see like the Ravens or you see like the Seattle Seahawks. You see the Philadelphia Eagles. You see the Eagles dominated on defense, right? The Eagles dominated on defense. Their offense was trash. I'm sorry, I love Randall Cunningham, Fred Barnett, Andrew Toney, and all of them, but and Calvin Williams and Chris Carter when Chris Carter was there for a while, and no, and Andy Harmon. No, the defense. I say Andy Harmon. He was on defense. The defense with Mike Pitts, Jerome Brown, Reggie White, Clyde Simmons. Who else? Damn, Byron Evans. Chris Hager. Who else? You had Seth Joyner. You had Atwater. You had Andre Waters. You had Wes Hopkins. You had Eric Allen. That's a Hall of Famer. And now then you had Isaiah Jenkins. He was a bum, but he played. He was a good player. He just got beat by good players. And that's what happened because when you play the 46 defense, that's what happens. You see what Dan Marino did to the Chicago Bears when they played against the Chicago Bears, and motherfucker Dan Marino destroyed them. But the thing is, it cracks me up because basketball has changed through the years, and it's not fun to watch. College basketball is more fun to watch than pro basketball. That's what really bothers me about watching these games, because when you watch college basketball, people are more excited to watch college basketball than they are watching the pro game, because the pro game is all about who gets the biggest contract. And if Curry will stay, because I think Curry's thinking about, I think Curry's going to retire, because I think Curry's going to go and play golf. I think he's probably going to be a pro golfer. But the thing is, I believe that if Curry retires, I think Curry will make the league look more weak, because Curry is a three-point shooter. Now, I don't see no other three-point shooters in this league like Curry, and I don't think it's ever going to be anybody like him ever again. And I don't think that, that's what's going to be said. LeBron, you always going to find another LeBron. You're always going to find one. You're not going to be able to find another Curry. You know what I mean? Like, you will probably say, well, you found a Michael Jordan. Kobe was never a Jordan. I mean, he walked like him, talked like him, chewed gum like him, but everybody forgot about, which he wasn't 6'6", he was 6'7", and he was drafted as a small forward. He wasn't drafted as a two guard. I mean, so the thing is, you look at Scottie Pippen. LeBron James is not better than Scottie Pippen. And you see the rundown blocks. I'm saying, if you ever see the videos of Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, you're going to see a lot of rundown blocks from Scottie Pippen. A lot of them. LeBron James didn't do a lot of rundown blocks like motherfucking Pippen did. He did a lot of them. He did at least about, it's like 30 like rundown blocks that Scottie Pippen done. And Jordan did the same thing too. It's funny as shit. Jordan played against players that was 7 feet tall. This motherfucker was blocking their shots. Everybody talk about Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is probably the greatest block shooting guard of all time. But Michael Jordan, man, that motherfucker could jump. I remember somebody shot, I don't know who shot a jump shot. Jordan jumped like in the middle of the motherfucking floor in the paint and blocked the shot. I mean, this motherfucker went up high and blocked the shot. Like, this motherfucker, another play that Jordan was standing on the other side of the logo. Like, he was on the far, I think left side of the logo, and the play was on the right side of the key. This motherfucker ran from the logo, and the ball was about to shoot a jump shot. Jordan blocked it by running from one part to that's effort, dog. Defense is about effort. But people always say, well, the Golden State Warriors got Curry, they got three-point shooting. Three-point shooting is not beating a great defense. I'm sorry. Because people forgot about Miller was a great three-point shooter. A great three-point shooter. Like, I don't know, he didn't average the same. I think him and Curry average the same amount of punts. Now, Curry is a great point guard. To me, Curry would have been a great point guard even if he didn't shoot threes. That's part of his arsenal. And I like it that he uses it for his arsenal, and he can shoot jump shots. Curry's a threat. But if you take him away, he's not a threat anymore. Like, you take away the best player. That's what the Bulls predicated themselves as doing, taking away their best player. And when they took away their best player, nobody else could score. Like I said, you got to change your offense around to try to get points. And that's frustrating, because you're thinking that you can beat the Bulls because you can shoot threes. That doesn't make that's a myth. It's a myth. That 72, that 70 team, whatever what the record was, they're not going to beat the team that won the 72 games. They're not going to beat the Bulls. They're not beating them Bulls. They're not beating them Bulls. The Bulls won the championship. They almost swept the motherfucking Phoenix Suns. The only team that's probably, I think the Lakers are better than them. That's the team that the Lakers had that swept every single team in the fucking playoffs when they had Shaq and Kobe. They swept every single team in the playoffs besides the Sixers when they won one game. They will beat the fucking Golden State Warriors. Matchups, yeah, you gotta understand. They had a great defensive. They had great defensive players too. It's just that all you thought was the defense was their offense because of Shaq and Kobe. But people forgot about Robert Horry and a lot of other players that were on that team with great defensive players. I mean, you forgot about them. They were at Ron Harper too. And they won championships with Ron Harper twice. They won 2 championships with Ron Harper. So please don't give me that the Golden State Warriors is the greatest team ever. No, they're not. Everybody talk about the New England Patriots as the greatest team ever. They were 18-0 going into the Super Bowl against the Giants. The Giants were the biggest underdog probably in NFL history. And guess what? Guess who beat them? The Giants. They sacked Brady 6 times in the Super Bowl. Brady I think only I think Brady didn't even throw a touchdown. I think he did he did throw one touchdown in that Super Bowl. One touchdown. I think I think it was a Randy Moss. No, that was the second Super Bowl when they had Randy Moss. The first Super Bowl didn't have Randy Moss. Oh my fault. Yeah, they did. Was it the first one? Yeah, the first one they had Randy Moss. They went to the Super Bowl because Randy Moss had 24 touchdowns that year, and I think Brady had 54 touchdowns. But you know what? Oh, they broke the record. They broke the Minnesota record of points a game. But you know what? Think about this, right? You're 18-0. You're going into the Super Bowl. Everybody's ready to pull out that trophy and give it to you because they think you're going to blow out the motherfucking Giants. The Giants beat them. They beat them. And the Giants will never get respected for that. But they always talk about New England's the greatest team of all time. How is New England? How are you the greatest team of all time? And you had a record you had an unblemished record, but you get to the Super Bowl and you lose. It's just like how Golden State was. Golden State Warriors had the greatest record of all time, and end up in the finals against a team that's an average team with a player that was coming up to be great, and LeBron. You know what I mean? And fucking Kyrie Irving in his third year, like he dominated Curry in that finals. Kyrie should have been the MVP, not LeBron. But they wanted to give it to LeBron because they wanted LeBron to win so bad that they gave him the MVP because it was all about endorsing him. They didn't care nothing about Kyrie. That's why they try to fuck Kyrie's career up. Because I think LeBron tried to fuck his career up because LeBron James was so jealous of Kyrie because Kyrie is such a great player. And he almost won the finals again by himself. But without LeBron. But people say, oh, he could not. They were going to make sure that nobody's going to win a championship without LeBron being on that team. Now, the Bulls are just trash. The Bulls teams are just trash. They don't know how to draft. And, it's all about money today. But like I said before, basketball today in the past is two different eras of basketball. Defense was in the past. Offense is today. But the thing is, they're trying to bring defense back into this era, which a lot of people probably don't like because if they bring back defense, or even if they change the rule, because they were thinking about changing some of the rules back to the old rules, but they can't do that because they believe that the people that love Curry and love all these players that score like 99 fucking point 3-point shots, it's going to take the game away. It's going to take away the fun of 3-point shooting, which is the worst because when you play like 2K basketball, that's all these kids do is shoot threes. You can't play defense in these basketball games because that's all they do is shoot threes. And this is the reason why people say the Bulls will lose because of 3-point shooting. No, they're not going to lose because of 3-point shooting. Because like I said, they're going to take away Curry and they're going to take away Thompson. Once you take away them two, they're going to win. 3 out of 3. They're not going to blow out the fucking Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors will be in some games because Curry's a threat. If Curry gets hot, yeah, Curry's going to fucking shoot his, he start making his threes. And if Thompson start making his threes, he can put up 30, 40 points on the Bulls. But if you take them two away, then they're going to the Golden State Warriors is not going to do shit. They're not going to take away motherfucking Jordan at all. Jordan's not going to score like 16 points. Jordan's going to score at least about 30 points in a game against the Warriors because the Warriors don't play defense. There's nobody going to guard Jordan, and there's probably nobody going to guard Scottie Pippen either because Scottie Pippen is a great scorer. And you got Harper that's going to be sitting on the 3-point line, and he's a great 3-point shooter, and he can still attack the basket. Now, like I said, he has knee problems. But you also got these Bull players that can do one thing that the fucking Golden State Warriors can't do. They're not a real great foul shooting team. Unless they got Curry or Thompson at the line. The Bulls are a great foul shooting team. So, I'm about to get off this thing. I'm about to have to go to the bathroom. But I'm going to tell you something, right? We need to stop this back and forth. I know debating is great. We could talk about blah, blah, blah. I'm also going to make a video about people keep hating on Jalen Hurts and keep on talking about Allen and Burrow and all them being better than Hurts. But there's only 2 quarterbacks that have won in this late 2000s, and that's Mahomes winning 3 championships, and then you have Hurts winning 1, and he almost won 1, and he won MVP. Those are the only 2. But they still talk about Allen's better than Hurts and all this other kind of stuff. I love Allen. He's my favorite quarterback in football, right? But the thing is, Allen's not better than Hurts when it comes to winning. He's not. He loses in the playoffs all the time. You know what I mean? Now, if they let him get to the final, let him get to the championship this year, which I think he will get to the championship this year, and I think he'll play Philadelphia in the championship. Because I tell people all the time, if you ever see the first beginning of the football season, they show you who's going to the Super Bowl. They show the Buffalo Bills playing against the Eagles, and guess who won the Super Bowl? The Buffalo Bills. So Allen might actually get his first championship this year because they already have it set up where who's going to go to the Super Bowl. They already know who's going to go to the Super Bowl. Yes, the Eagles did struggle, but guess what? The playoffs are coming. You don't know if the Eagles, like I got on my shirt right now, I'm a huge Eagle fan. You know what I mean? So you probably don't know what's really going to happen in the playoffs because the playoffs really determines who's the better team. Like I said, defenses win championship, and the Eagles got the best defense in the NFL. Right now, in these last past games, the Eagles got the best defense. I think they're leading the league in sacks right now. Not leading the league, but in the last few games, they're leading the league in sacks and turnovers. So think about this: once they get Carter back, and the way Jordan is playing, and the way that they got Graham averaging at least a sack a game or half a sack a game, and then they get a Dean back, hoping Dean gets back, and they got Phillips. They got and they got Cooper. They got, this team, and Mitchell's outstanding. So prepare yourself. Please stop hating on the Eagles, man. Detroit's not in the playoffs, and Kansas City's not in the playoffs. So think about it. The Eagles are the only ones that are in the playoffs, and they won the Super Bowl last year. Kansas City was in the Super Bowl, and they got kicked out. They didn't make the playoffs. Detroit had the best record in football last year, and they lost in the playoffs, and they didn't make the playoffs this year. So the Eagles struggled, but they're in the playoffs, and they won their division. Struggling. Because the Dallas Cowboys had an opportunity to win the division. They only needed to win 2 games, and the Eagles needed to lose 2. But the Eagles won both their games, and the Dallas Cowboys lost 2 of their games. And the Eagles won the division. And they still don't give the Eagles respect. But we'll wait, because the Eagles got to play the Vikings their first game. I think. They might have to play the Vikings their first game. So, to me, I think that between Denver and Buffalo, I believe Buffalo is going to be in the Super Bowl. And between the Eagles and the Bears, because I think the Bears can get to the Super Bowl, or Green Bay, but I think they're not going to get to the Super Bowl because they don't have Parsons. Because their defense is, even though their defense is good, I think they were better with Parsons. But the Eagles, and it's going to be Buffalo, and Buffalo's going to win their first Super Bowl. And I'm an Eagle fan, and I'm just saying how it's looking because I think they want to give him his first. They gave him the MVP in the regular season, Allen the MVP the regular season, and they gave Hurts the championship. They're going to probably give Hurts because I think they're going to do this new thing. I think they're trying to do this new thing about who's going to win playoff award. They're going to give players playoff awards. And I think Hurts is probably going to win the playoff award. And what's his name is going to win, because Hurts is not winning the MVP. I forgot who's going to win the MVP. I think it's going to be probably, I don't know who's winning the MVP this year. I don't know who's winning the MVP. You know what I mean? So, I'll see y'all later. Thank you for listening. Bless. I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta take a shit.